if I had a bigger budget, I would do something way more, crazy. I'd maybe like do something with, guest stars, or I'd have a musical number or something. But for the most part, I just want to say to those who are watching, this is their first video. Hi, hello, Internet. I am the hero of Julios, and this is the 100th chapter summary I have done on this channel. I originally started doing this as just sort of a thing to do during the pandemic, and other YouTubers, the likes of Teching and Joyboy and those guys, inspired me of, hey, they can do it. We're about the same age. Why can't I do it? I'm not that much older than a couple of them, and I'm a couple of them younger than a couple other ones. So I figured that it would be a fun thing to do as a side hobby. It is still just that, a side hobby, so haven't been able to dedicate anything crazy to it, but it's still something to say when you finally hit 100 of anything. And 100 of anything, we are here with chapter 1086, The Five Elders. Now, the artwork for this week is just this lovely rainbow display of the Straw Hats in various different colors, and it's just right after the rain. You see Oda wrote a little message of no rain, no rainbow. So it's just a message of taking the good with the bad. And weirdly enough, Zoro and Jinbei aren't on this, but that's, every now and then you just don't feel like drawing someone. So without further ado, let's get into the 100th chapter summary. And wow, what I wanted to get into on. So, yeah, we start off with Sabo's flashback coming to a conclusion in this chapter. Vivi and Wapol have entered the Aegis Kingdom ship. They are stowed away on there, and Wapol is sending a message to Morgans letting him know that they're on that ship, and he can come pick them up as soon as he can. We know he succeeds in that because we saw them on his ship a few chapters ago. Bonnie is currently on the Tajin ship, which I'm going to guess is nearby Egghead, considering she got swept up in that windstorm, and that's how the Straw Hat crew even found her in the first place. So they're not too terribly far from where Luffy and his crew currently are. Either that or Bonnie was in that storm way longer than we thought. Speaking of way longer than we thought, it has been like 8 chapters since we've seen the Straw Hat crew, so yeah, that's pretty crazy. That's a lot has happened since then, and we still don't know what my beautiful and wonderful York is planning for the Straw Hat crew as far as her evil scheme has gone. On that note, Jay Garcia is right there, and as of last chapter, we know he is much stronger than he appears, so let's see what that turns into. But finally, the last ship is the Leluzia Kingdom ship with Sabo stowed away inside of it. So with those stowaways heading off in their respective directions, we get a brief moment of Igaram running around trying to find Princess Vivi. Chaka and Pell are looking for the king. Unfortunately, we know that they aren't going to succeed because, well, they're going to find out about Sabo, and then they're going to find out about Vivi. So that's unfortunate. I feel really bad for Igaram. You know how much worry he has over the princess. That can't be good for his heart, and we know how deeply Pell cares about Vivi, and I'm not saying Chaka doesn't care, but the three of them have been through a lot, especially since 2 years ago their kingdom was almost overthrown completely. So I feel bad for those guys. I wonder who's going to be in charge. I would say probably Igaram is going to be in charge of the kingdom until Vivi gets back, because she's not dead, they just know she's missing. But that's neither here nor there. What is here is Eam. And Eam gives an order to the 5 elders, telling them to activate the Mother Frame, or Mother Flame, depending on translations. The official Viz calls it the Mother Frame. It is a weapon created by Dr. Vegapunk, and assumedly that is the weapon that blows up Leluzia Kingdom. They actually, when he says, Eam says it is time to activate the Mother Frame, they go, oh, okay, it's a good display of power. We can test the weapon. Samurai Gandhi even says, hey, we should probably, test the weapon on like a wooded area rather than the open water because, it's just a better indicator. We can see what it does to a landmass. So, yeah, what spot do we want to drop a nuke? And Eam just goes, Leluzia Kingdom. And all 5 of them are like, there's a lot of people there. And Eam goes, I don't care. And they go, okay, well, why Leluzia Kingdom? Like, there have been, like, little sparks of rebellion and stuff, but is there a particular reason, our lord? And Eam just goes, it's nearby. So, the 5 of them, of course, decide, yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay, there've been some sparks of rebellion, and this will be a good example to everyone else, and it's nearby. That's the interesting part, which implies the weapon, if Eam wanted to use it now, implies that the weapon requires movement. So this is not a weapon that shoots around the world. In fact, one of the elders even mentions, if we could figure out how to use this power freely, and then another elder goes, yes, this would end our ancient war completely. So I don't think the 5 elders are immortal. They might just be referring to the ancient war as in they know what Eam knows. But we know for a fact, well, I guess we don't know for a fact, but it's very strongly implied that this weapon requires time to, end up floating above wherever and then blasting down. This weapon could be something like a satellite. We definitely know that space travel is possible in One Piece thanks to Eneru, but it's interesting to think about this because that giant airship, satellite, hover beam, what have you, ended up above Leluzia Kingdom and destroyed it completely. Now, Sabo was on the Leluzian ship, which I guess didn't get caught in the blast because Sabo must have just been like off the coast, so maybe Eam overtimed it, so the boat, like the weapon got there early, blew up the island, and that's how Sabo survived. This little ship went back to the Kamabaka Queendom, and that's how they got everything up and running. But of course, the only thing bigger than the reveal of that weapon's name, which may or may not be an ancient weapon, is the names of the 5 elders. Now, we know J. Garcia Saturn, but the other ones from left to right, or sorry, no, right to left. Yeah, right to left, are Marcus Mars, Topman Warcury, Ethan Baron Venus Juro, and Shepherd Jew Peter. Now, granted, some of those are puns, but it does confirm the theory that all of them are celestial bodies. They're all the planets. And if you take the 5 that are them, and then the other 3 planets in the solar system, you end up with the 3 ancient weapons, the 5 elders, Luffy the sun, Eam maybe representing the Earth, and then Eneru's on the moon. So everything's been accounted for when it comes to the planets of the One Piece, or at least our planets in the One Piece world. Regardless, I'm not super speculating on whether or not this is like, oh, the 5 elders are from space or something now, but it is a naming convention. It is something Oda does. He does like to keep everything in a nice, neat little package. So there you go. That theory is confirmed. They're all named after celestial bodies. They all have powers of some kind, whether it be devil fruits or gifted powers from Eam's devil fruit, or just Eam gifting powers. We still don't know what Eam is. But their names have finally been confirmed. And with that, Eam gives them one last order. Word for word, he tells them, I desire Vivi. If Eam actually is an eternal being, she's a little young for you, my friend. But if Eam, it's got to be something to do with her ancestor, of course, Lily. So either Eam was someone obsessed with Lily, and just because Vivi looks like her, he or she wants Vivi. It could be that Vivi is the true bloodline of D, and therefore is the biggest threat. It could be that Vivi's father knows too much, so maybe he's worried that Eam knows too much, or sorry, that Vivi knows too much, and Eam is trying to take Vivi out of the equation. Whatever the reason, just be really glad that Wapol is with Vivi right now and is safely helping her get to Morgan's. I still can't believe I am saying that. Wapol is helping. Oh, rewinding a little bit, there is a sad little moment where, as Wapol and Vivi are inside of the ship they're stowing away on, Wapol is calling Morgan's, telling him where they are, and Vivi tells Wapol, hey, give me your transponder, Snail. I want to call Egarum, he worries a lot. And he goes, oh, no, we can't do that. And she goes, at least let me call my dad. And Wapol tells her, listen, that is the last thing you want to do right now. Which, he's right, because I don't know how much Wapol has told Morgans and Vivi, but I'm sure at the point where we are in the story now, as opposed to flashback, Vivi does know what happened to her dad, and I don't know if she believes Sabo did it, because Sabo's Luffy's brother, so she's probably under the impression that Luffy's brother would never do that. But, yeah, so Wapol doesn't let her call her dad for obvious reasons, and that is a sad little moment. But Oda said, no, I'm not just going to leave you on that stuff. I'm going to drop a few more things. As Ivankov, as flashback is ending, Ivankov tells Sabo, hey, whoa, hang on, whoa, look, Devil Fruit Encyclopedia, boom. Hey, Eam is one of the names of the, first 20 kings. Is it possible that Eam is this Eam? Because if you look here in the Devil Fruit Encyclopedia with me, come look, Sabo boy, there is a devil fruit that grants eternal life. And, as all of us have been saying, or at least I've been saying to all my friends, if there is a devil fruit, like the Op fruit, where we know it has the ability to grant eternal life at the cost of its user, the only reason we could know about that power is if it's been done. So, in conclusion, Ivankov says what we were all thinking out loud. Hey, I think Eam had the Eternal Youth Surgery operation. So, Eam is an eternal being. Eam is capable of using a weapon equivalent to an ancient weapon. It might not be an ancient weapon. Ivankov immediately starts pointing fingers, like a weapon of that caliber had to have been made by Vegapunk, and Sabo and Dragon are very quick to be like, hey, why would Vegapunk make a weapon? Vegapunk's super against weapons, and Ivankov's just like, well, yeah, that's true, but still, if Eam has lived forever, then the ancient weapon is not a very far-fetched thing to think that would be in the possession of someone from that time period. So Ivankov is starting to become a One Piece YouTuber, where he's just pulling theories here and there and wants to piece it all together just like we do, and as we get closer and closer to the end of One Piece, it is going to get more and more hectic on these theories coming together, things getting confirmed. But yeah, so that's what's going on there. Ivankov declares his theories, we declare our theories, and we cut back to the world government sending out people to stop these insurrections, because as different nobles are returning to their kingdoms, the rebellions are happening, because there were 12 different rebellions. We know 8 were successful, and now we kind of know why 4 of them weren't, because 3 more seraphims have been deployed. That's right, the last 3 of the warlords, Gecko Moria, Don Quixote do Flamingo, and Crocodile, all have their own seraphims, and as you can see in the image, the 2 of them are just as happy can be, but Crocodile isn't. Little Crocodile. Now, they're not carbon copies of their adult forms. Otherwise, the S-Shark Seraphim wouldn't be so inclined as to attack, Nami and Sanji, and S. Snake would not be bashful. She would be very uptight like Hancock is. Or, well, uptight in front of men and that aren't Luffy. Anyways, the little shy tsundere girl is not what you would expect from Boa Hancock. So they're not exactly like their predecessors, but it's interesting to see that this crocodile, at least in my opinion, the way he's drawn, looks sad. Why are you sad, little crocodile? That is my question. That's the question on my mind. Why is little crocodile Seraphim sad? Is it because you didn't get a good devil fruit? Because we know that Doflamingo and Moria both have Paramecia types, so it's very easy for them to have the devil fruits of their Seraphims to have their devil fruits. Crocodiles, on the other hand, was a Logia, which means a different kind of devil fruit was probably used in his creation. I would say it would need to be something amorphous to get him used to his sand-based abilities, which could be the Wax fruit. Maybe I wouldn't say it's impossible for him to have Katakuri's fruit, but highly unlikely given Katakuri has never been caught by the Navy. It's possible to have maybe the Stone fruit. Pika's devil fruit that allows him to sift through. Maybe the Swamp fruit. Although Caribou was never caught by... Oh, and he's a Logia. There's a lot of devil fruits it could be. Honestly, it's just one of those we won't know till we see it. Maybe... I guess I would lean mostly towards something like the Wax fruit or the Venom fruit. Something that is amorphous in nature, but not obviously a Logia type. Just one that would be mistaken for one. Regardless, I'm digging way too deep into this. Those three Seraphims are out and about. That's why they're not on Egghead. So the Doflamingo Seraphim behind all the murders is definitely deconfirmed. So, yeah. But that's not where the chapter ends either, ladies and gentlemen at home. No. Because we have one last thing to happen. A piece of history that will be stricken from the record. Something that the rest of the world will never know. Only the Celestial Dragons will know of this event. The execution of a Celestial Dragon. That's right, he committed the ultimate crime of not being a terrible person. Because that's like, the only crime a Celestial Dragon can commit is not being horrible. So, overseeing the execution of Don Quixote Miosgard is none other than, and I wrote it down, Saint Figarland Garling. Now, for those of you who did not watch Film Red, for those of you who have not seen the One Piece chapters or any extra stuff that has nothing to do with the actual canonical manga. We're talking Film Red, we're talking bonus chapters, SBS question corners. This name might just be a new character to you. But this man was the former king of God Valley, as stated in the manga. This man has the family name of Figarland. Shanks has a daughter named Uta in the One Piece Film Red. I'm going to get into a little bit of Film Red spoilers here, so if you haven't seen the movie, aside from the trailer that said Uta's Shanks' daughter, I would say click off now, because this is all I'm going to babble about for the last few minutes. Okay, they've clicked off. Alright, so, Uta's Shanks' daughter. That news being spread to the world, people immediately assumed, 5 elders included, that she was Shanks' blood daughter. And they said, oh, if she's Shanks' daughter, then she has Figarland blood. Again, Film Red, not canon. Stuff said, characters shown, Film Red, canon. Ish. So, if they are assuming that Uta is Figarland because she is Shanks' daughter, it is safe to assume that Shanks is a Figarland. Shanks was found in a treasure chest by Gold Roger at God Valley, who Figarland Garling used to be the king of. It's starting to piece together exactly why Shanks is allowed to come and go as he pleases from Mary Joie. But the buck doesn't stop there. This man is the one in charge of the Holy Knights. Which means, anyone out there theorizing that Shanks is a member of the Holy Knights, you got a couple points in that department, because I'm starting to lean that way myself. I'm still kind of holding out, hoping he's not, because I would rather Shanks just be a really strong pirate who, yeah, he's got the blood of a celestial dragon in him probably, but I would rather he's not also a holy knight, unless he's a holy knight who gets to do whatever he wants, in which case he chose to be a pirate. But why would they want him to, why would they let him be a pirate? Why wouldn't they strip him of his plebbiness? Because I'm going to guess the rest of his crew are not celestial dragons, because they're all good people, and Shanks might just be like Mjosgard, kind of a 1 in a million kind of deal. But, where am I even going with this? Long story short, I don't think Shanks is evil. I don't like that theory. Shanks might be a holy knight, but I would really like to know why. And I really hope the rest of his crew are not the rest of the Holy Knights. Or, alternate theory, Shanks's brother is the leader of the Holy Knights. And it's kind of the brotherly love, fatherly tolerance, you have the birthright of a celestial dragon, so you're allowed to do what you want out in the world. So being a pirate is something you're allowed to do. Maybe Shanks is like Doflamingo, where he knows a secret that if it got out, they'd be ruined, so they don't stop Shanks because they know he would just spill the beans. Whatever the reason, we are getting really close to some big reveals, and we're on break. And it's not just a 1 week break. No. We are out for a solid 4 or 5 weeks, I believe. And then that all depends on how this procedure goes. So, for those of you who aren't in the loop, our beloved Oda, the man who writes the story we all babble on about incoherently, he is getting some eye surgery done. And as you can guess, when you draw a manga, your eyes are pretty important. So, yeah, he's getting eye surgery. According to his little note that he left for everyone, he's going to learn how to shoot lasers out of them, so that's cool, if the procedure goes well. If it doesn't, he'll just have regular eyes, but that's okay. He'll be able to draw his manga still. I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. The flashback is over, so hopefully we're heading back to Egghead Island. But with that, I got to figure out how to fill up the next few weeks, so that'll be fun. I'll probably do some stuff about the One Piece card game. Set 3 is about to come out. Maybe I'll drop some theories of my own, or maybe I'll just do 2 episodes of the One Piece Monster Manual every week. I don't know. But whatever I choose to do, I hope you'll be there too. So thank you for watching, as always. I will see you in the next video. This is the Hero of Julios, Xing out.